guys that are in this room have all been very respectful of that. And I want you to know that that doesn't go unnoticed. Terry was killed on a Friday, and 6 days later, we all paused for Thanksgiving, a tough Thanksgiving. The Tuesday after Thanksgiving, we laid Terry to rest, and many of you were with us. You covered it beautifully. 2 days later, a week after Thanksgiving, we laid David Long to rest. And again, you guys were there with us. So thank you. We honored David Long as an honorary deputy. The community feedback has been absolutely incredible. I meant to bring out a stack of letters. I've got piles of letters on my desk from all around the country, from all around the state, from all around our beautiful county, people who have reached out with their condolences. So this week, our team paused in an effort to move forward and heal. Just yesterday, I had 3 of my fellow sheriffs join us and our command staff to discuss their losses. 3 sheriffs who went through terrible tragedies much like what we've gone through, to hear what they did in the days and weeks that followed and how their agency was able to pick up the pieces and move on. It's been 41 years, 39 years, right, since we lost Razkowski. Aside from Captain Labby, who worked for Connecticut State Police, our command staff has never experienced this. So we wanted to bring in law enforcement leaders to give us advice. And they gave us amazing, incredible advice. And I'm thankful for them and their partnership and their friendship. Additionally, I'd like to say that I believe our agency was probably better prepared for a tragedy than many other law enforcement agencies around the state and around the country. We have a partnership with Emerald Medical. We have a peer support team. We had all the right things in place the day Terry was killed to start taking care of our employees. Even with that, in our conversation yesterday with our therapy team, they're still helping us work through things. We're going to be meeting with our employees. We're going to be answering some questions for them. We're going to be talking with them and helping them work through this terrible, awful tragedy. But I wanted to pause today and give you guys an update because, again, my friends in this room, you guys have been good to us. And I wanted to give you a few items that need to be said. I want to make this 100% clear, 1,000% clear. There's only one person who's at fault for this terrible tragedy, and that's the shooter that was killed who tried to ambush our deputies. I'm going to say that again. There's one person who's at fault. I'm not going to say his name because he doesn't deserve the notoriety or the credibility, but he's the person who's at fault for ambushing our deputies. Anybody who thinks otherwise is not telling you the truth. We had 85 years of experience, of law enforcement experience on that call between Terry, Tino, Sergeant Gary Farless. Those folks did nothing wrong on this call. This could have been any call for service where someone decided to ambush our deputies. It just so happened it was an eviction. Somebody could walk in our front lobby. All of you folks walked into our front lobby today. And if somebody's hell-bent on shooting law enforcement, they're going to shoot law enforcement. And our job is to mitigate that the best we can with our training. And our team did an incredible job on that scene. I appreciate your patience because I want you to know we have thousands of pieces of evidence from this scene. There's an ongoing parallel state attorney's office investigation, and we will have a grand jury on this case. Our folks will have to testify as to what happened to that day. We have partner agencies who are still processing evidence. We will have to wait to give you all the details you want. We want them too. But I can tell you today, Terry died fighting. Terry put bullets in that bad guy. Tino put bullets in that bad guy. And Gary Farless put bullets in that bad guy. This guy fired over 25 rounds at our deputies. And with precision, and with training, and with all the things that they have been taught to do over their 85 plus years of experience, they did the honorable thing. They protected the community, the neighbors in that area, and anybody else that this maniac might have killed. And they ended him right there. So kudos to them. They're the heroes in this. And the entire message that should be shared is what heroes they are. Terry's a hero. David Long is a hero. And the only person at fault is the scumbag who decided to shoot and ambush our folks. I want to clear up something I said in the initial press conference. We were 3 hours removed from Terry being killed. I called real-time crime and I said, how many times have we been out to the residence? Real-time crime says 7 calls for service. So I relay that to you guys to be as transparent as I possibly can. Somehow that has turned into, we've had 7 crazy calls at the house. Not true. On November 5th, we were called there. There's 2 calls for service associated with it because of a shift change issue. But we were called there on a disturbance. I've watched the body cam. Mom is explaining to our deputies that she wants her son evicted. She doesn't want him to live there anymore. So our deputies explained to her the process of how to get an eviction. On 11/7, November 7th, our team was called there by Mom to do a standby. She wanted to retrieve some of her belongings from the house. She wasn't staying at the house. And our job is there to keep the peace. No issues. On 11/10, Mom had started the eviction process, and our civil team went there to post notice that the eviction process had started. On 11/13, Mom again asked us to come by for a standby, a standard call for service, making sure everybody was safe. The day before the shooting, November 20th, Terry went to the residence and posted the final notice that on 11/21, the shooter would be evicted from the home. The final call for service is on 11/21 when our team arrived there and were ambushed. The team of folks that are involved in our civil unit have done over 500 evictions in the last 2 years. Not a single one of them involved use of force. Not a single one of them had any issues. Standard call for service. This team is well skilled. They know exactly how to do their job. An eviction is a civil process. It is not a criminal process. This is not something that we deploy our SWAT team for. The locksmith was not hired by the Indian River County Sheriff's Office. The locksmith was hired by the mom of the shooter as part of the standard process of an eviction. We let them know if there are any doors that this person has access to. You may want to change those locks. If you don't have access to an area, you may want to have a locksmith on standby. Our team doesn't kick down doors for civil process. Our team does their job. They do it well. They do it honorably, just like they were doing on November 21st when this maniac decided to ambush our folks. Another item I want to clear up. Right after the shooting, I said that he wasn't on our radar. What that means to me and what that means to other people apparently is different. When I say someone is not on our radar, what I mean by that is we've not arrested this person. We've not Baker Acted this person, which a Baker Act is a mental health hold for someone who is a harm to themselves or the other or others. We've also not applied for or received a risk protection order. A risk protection order, you may know, is a red flag law, which is where we take weapons away from people. That's something that came about post-Parkland. None of those things occurred in this case. Our team had received calls about this shooter before this incident. We've reviewed those calls. None of those calls rose to the level of an arrest, of a Baker Act, of a risk protection order. Our team here at the Sheriff's Office have done almost 500 Baker Acts this year. 490 is the number. We've done 52 risk protection orders year to date. And we've made thousands of arrests. I promise this community that if somebody came forward with information that would have been at the level for us to make an arrest, to conduct a Baker Act, or to get a risk protection order, our team would have done that. Our team does their jobs well. They do a great job for our community. Nothing that this shooter did prior to the day. As a matter of fact, in rewatching the video today, as they're walking in the house with mom, mom says, he's not aggressive. She's telling the deputies, there's nothing to worry about. He's my son. The same critics who mocked me for demanding more resources for our agency are now the same people criticizing our agency, saying that we should have done more. Our team does an amazing job with the resources that we have. And it's no secret you guys have heard me stand up here and say, we need more resources, we need more money. I'm not going to get into that today, but I want you guys to understand that our team does a great job. They did a great job in this case. They're heroes. They did everything by policy. They did everything by the book. They were wearing their vests. They did everything exactly as people with 85 plus years of law enforcement experience would do. Our team has reviewed those videos, and it's frustrating because we all want something to point a finger at and say, it's this fault, it's this fault. Folks, the fault lies with the shooter who ambushed our deputies. Let's not lose focus of that. Let's keep the focus on the fact that our heroes, Terry, died in the line of duty. David Long, when this guy ambushed our deputies, was killed, an innocent civilian. Mom was right there with them as well. She's fortunate that she wasn't shot. Grandfather was on scene. Fortunate he wasn't shot. Our folks are heroes, and they deserve the honor and dignity and respect that they've received in the last week. I thank you all for what you've done for our agency and how you've put that out for us. The last thing I want to say is thank you to all of the community. The outreach has been incredible. It helps us all heal. Please continue. In the days and weeks that come, it's going to get harder and harder for us because every day that goes by is another day we lost our Terry. So please continue to do the things you're doing because we need it. I want to thank again Corporate Air. I want to thank Breeze Airlines. In the whirlwind that happened in the days after, unfortunately Terry's family were on a cruise ship landing back in New York. Breeze got the family back to us the next day. They were incredible. I want to thank our partners at Breeze. I want to thank Vero Beach Social Media and Barwick Entertainment. And lastly, I want to thank our great Governor, Ron DeSantis. Their team has been incredible throughout this, from the Attorney General, the entire team. If I mention somebody, I'm going to leave them out. But Governor DeSantis' crew has been unbelievable. So thank you all, media. I appreciate what you're doing. As I said, this is an active, ongoing investigation. We are still very much in the throes of this. And as we have more information and as we get into more details that we can give you, I will come back to you. But we thank you for your continued respect, for continuing to